So I had just recently a very dangerous, unexpected thing with the table saw and a weird piece of wood that could happen to absolutely anybody who ever uses a table saw. And I thought I would let you know about it. And by the time you get to the end of this video, you will know exactly what to do to prevent yourself from getting hurt terribly should you come across the same situation. So a little while ago, I was trying to rip this piece of mahogany through my table saw. And this mahogany, it's African mahogany, it's about a little over 2 inches thick, 8 inches wide. I cut it off of a 12-foot board that I had in my garage. And one of the things about this board has been in my garage for over 15 years. So it's been seasoning at least that long. So I tried to cut it through the table saw, and when I did, it was a lot of tension in the board. Even though it had been sitting as long as it had, there was still a lot of tension in the board, and it just started to warp and twist, and the kerf started to tighten up on me, and I couldn't complete the cut on the table saw. No way, no how. In fact, I had a hard time getting the board off of the blade because it was binding so hard on there. So then we have our blade guard, and blade guard is an important safety feature on the saw, and of course most people think of the blade guard as just that, this plastic thing that goes over and guards the blade to keep your hand from getting into there. And that's true, but another important feature of the blade guard are these anti-kickback pawls on the side of on the bottom, I mean, of the guard, and these spring-loaded pawls have got teeth on them, and the idea is that, as the board is passing through the blade and under these kickback pawls, it just goes past it like this. But if the board tries to kick back for some reason, that these spring-loaded pawls with the teeth will dig into the board and grab it and prevent it from slamming into your chest and going back through the back wall of your shop. And then, of course, the newer ones also have what you call a riving knife, and that's even a big deal too, because it prevents the board from wanting to kick in the first place by keeping it from twisting and binding on the side of the blade. So ideally, I would have had this thing installed on the saw when I did this, when I was making the cut. So, in the future, am I going to use it? Probably not. Sorry, it's just a fact. I mean, I use them sometimes, but honestly, most of the time I don't. It's not the best practice, but that's the way I roll, I guess. But the next question is, okay, so it starts binding, what do you do? Well, ideally, it starts binding, you stop. Stop. Don't keep trying to shove it in there like I did until it gets to the bitter end. If it's binding, stop, figure out what's going on, and if it turns out that you've got tension in the board and the board is moving, what do you do? Well, what you want to do is you take and put a mark your board where you want to cut it. Then take your board over to the bandsaw and cut it on the bandsaw. Much safer. You're not going to have the same problem that you would on the table saw. So like I said, if you have a problem with the board twisting, binding, tension in the board on the table saw, burning like I have here, then walk away from the table saw, use the bandsaw. Much safer, much easier. So I hope you like this quick tip, and thanks for watching.